right? So if you got the best player in the league and you in the East, and the best player on the best team is DeMar DeRozan, the best player on the second best team, I guess it was a rookie Jason Tatum, if you want to say that. I say Jason Tatum as a rookie, and Joel Embiid was the best player on the third best team. Who got the best shot coming out of the East? None of those guys got playoff experience except for DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka. LeBron had that number though. I mean, LeBron was better than everybody on that team. Right? So if LeBron is that good, why are we shocked when all these mid teams led by these young bucks not getting all the way to the finals? Like, this is, we've seen people come out of the East with mid teams before. Iverson, Allen Houston, Reggie Miller, Jason Kidd. We've seen them get out of the East with mid teams, and we're not saying none of those guys are as good as LeBron James. Nobody's saying J. Kidd, Iverson, Reggie Miller, or Allen Houston or is on the level. They're not top 10 players of all time. LeBron is a top 10 player of all time. So why are we giving him credit for just getting to the finals with K Love, George Hill, J.R. Smith? That ain't nothing to be hyped about and be bragging about. I'm gonna keep it on Mike, Kobe, and LeBron for a second, because the GOAT debate kind of heated up on Club Shay Shay with Paul Pierce. And Paul Pierce goes on Club Shay Shay, and of course Shannon Sharpe, he always want to bring up, when he get a basketball player, he always want to bring up the GOAT debate, right? And he asked questions to Paul Pierce about LeBron and Mike, like he always do. Now, Paul Pierce didn't do a very, very good job of explaining all of this stuff. He was trying, so I'm gonna try to kind of decipher what Paul is saying and give you commentary. You know, I got this clipped up. You got to bear with me because I got to start and stop it because it's long. I think it's like 6 minutes, right? So I probably try to go 2 minutes and not stop it, right? So, and then we'll talk about it. All right, and then y'all let me know what y'all thinking about it in the comment section, and I'm gonna open the phone lines up right after this. But here's Club Shay Shay and Paul Pierce.
Why is it you don't think that Jordan is better than LeBron? You saw them both.
I did. I saw him in person.
Like, come on.
Go James, man.
Come on, Shan.
I mean, because you think about it.
Come on.
Because he could do more. He could rebound better.
So what do we go off of, dude? Because this is the argument that I have today. Like, you know, like better player is one thing.
Yes.
Like, is he just like, let's take away all the accolades?
Yes.
Like LeBron is probably the greatest player of the game, right? But it's unfortunate we got to add the accolades. Yeah. We have to add.
So we gonna
team success.
So how many? So we gonna put those like 20 All NBA selections in there. 21 All NBA selections.
Yeah,
we're gonna put it in there. Okay.
We're gonna put that in.
We're gonna put those 20.
No, we're not gonna put those in.
Oh, okay. We're not gonna do accolades.
This is what we're gonna do.
Okay, we're gonna do.
We're gonna take the 15 years or 13 years Jordan played, the first, and let's match him up with the 15 years.
My guy's still playing.
Huh?
My guy's still playing. You can't say this guy. If this guy was,
so we're crediting longevity as a reason.
You make it seem like LeBron just out there.
No, he's not out there. But I'm
All
saying
NBA
at
selection.
The peak of your superpowers.
Did you see Jordan in Washington?
I never seen Jordan disappoint in a big moment.
Did you see Jordan in Washington?
Yeah, I played against Jordan in Washington.
Yeah.
That was like a farewell tour.
We don't do. My guy's still going at 23. Ain't no farewell. Ain't no telling when this going. Ain't no witness. Ain't no telling.
Hey, we gonna be dead when he retires.
We got a book that's 1,000 pages and ain't the end yet. We ain't at the end yet.
Oh man, you ain't lying. I mean, that's nothing's ever going. You're not gonna do that. Nobody's gonna do what he's doing ever again.
LeBron. I mean, think about those points. True.
All right, so I'm gonna stop it there. Right. So the first thing I don't like what Paul Pierce do, and a lot of people do it, and David is saying this on the screen. He said, why do they always do the qualifier that LeBron is the most skilled we've ever seen? He's not. Yeah, they always do that because LeBron gets so much criticism. he gets scrutinized so much. I think some people, especially the athletes that are his peers, they feel like, man, I don't want to dump on this dude. Like Mike is obviously the man, but I got to give LeBron some type of credit. They just don't know what credit to give him. Right. So they end up repeating things they heard other people say, oh, he's the most skilled. But when you really think about that, when they really had a conversation of who the most skilled, LeBron's name never comes up. It's always like Kobe, Kyrie, Michael Jordan, guys like that. So he's not the most skilled. Right. He's not the most skilled. I think I heard you go here later on where he's going to say that, he could do everything. I'm like, all those guys that's in the top 10 and probably even the top 15, especially if they're a wing player, can do everything. They can dribble, they can shoot, they can get to the cup, they can pass, they can defend, they can block shot. When you're a great player, you can do everything. The difference between the players like Michael Jordan and Kobe who can do everything and LeBron who also can do everything but at a lesser extent than them is that just because you can do everything doesn't mean you supposed to go out there and do everything. Like you got 4 of the guys on the floor with you. If I'm doing everything, then I'm saying I'm going to maximize everything I can do. I'm going to empty the clip on me, and then everyone else can only use a select few of their talents and skills. Like if you're Tristan Thompson, whatever it is you can do on the basketball court, you're going to get reduced to a screen setter and a lob threat on offense. On defense, that's when you're supposed to do everything that you can do because you got to kind of defend for LeBron because he's doing so much on offense that he is allowed to rest on defense if he wants to. So most people, the 4 players playing with LeBron end up playing more defense than LeBron, more often than LeBron. But on offense, they get to just stand around and just minimize themselves. So a guy like Tristan Thompson, you're only using your ability to set screens and dive to the rim and be a lob threat. You're not going to put the ball on the floor. We don't need you to pass the ball out of the post. You're not even going to post up. You're never going to be, if you got good footwork, so what? We never see it. You're never getting the ball in the post. You're screen setting and you're diving every single time. Tristan can't shoot, so he's not picking and popping. Screen set, dive. That's it. Screen set, dive. Right? So that's all you do. Then when you're a power forward like Kevin Love or Chris Bosh, they both got great post skills. They made their living before they joined a LeBron-led team in the post. Unfortunately for them, they had good touch and were better shooters than LeBron. So what does that mean? Hey, you ever thought about becoming a three-point shooter? Because that's all you can use. You can't use that post game no more. Forget that post game, right? So can't use the post game no more. Screen set, instead of picking and diving like Tristan, when you screen set, you're popping. Pick and pop, or just go over there on the other side of the floor, spread the floor while I run screen and roll with Tristan, and you keep the paint wide open because you're a shooter, right? So Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, those prototypes, you're a catch and shoot player. Even though you got all this other skill, Bosh can put the ball on the floor. He can take big men off the dribble. He can post up and all that. Nah, you ain't using that. Just offensive rebound for us and shoot threes and jump shots. That's what you do in the offense. Then for another small forward, you might have Kyle Korver on the floor for you. Well, all you do is stand in the quarter and be a threat from three. While I'm driving to the hole, if the double come off of you, I'm passing to you, you got to catch and shoot. And you better shoot it when I pass it to you. Because if you put that ball on the floor and do something else with it, I won't get my assist. And the offense is designed for as soon as you get that pass, that means you're open. You better catch it and shoot it, and you better make it. Right? So that's what he does. Forget if he got any other talents. And then for whoever his number 2 is, his co-star, whether it's Wade or Anthony Davis or Kyrie, they got a little bit more freedom than those other role players. They get to do similar things that LeBron can do, but they can do it when LeBron can't do it or dominate, or when he sit down on the bench, or or they doubling him. So now Kyrie, now you got to go get it in. You got to get scraps that LeBron give you, and you got to do it so well that you can average about 23 to 25 points, which is absurd. That's a number 1 option output. Like as LeBron number 2, if you're Wade, AD, or Kyrie, it requires you to put up number 1 option numbers as far as points. Like you have to, like, what other superstar is asking their co-star to put up number 1 option numbers? Scottie Pippen was able to just give Michael Jordan 16 to 17 points. That's legit number 2 option numbers. You can't survive as a number 1 getting 17 points. So Scottie giving Mike 16, 17, and we get 6 championships out of that. Great. But LeBron was getting 17 from Bosh and Wade. Bosh and Love. His number 3s. His number 3s was giving him 16, 17. And then if you go down to his number 4s, whether it was J.R. Smith or somebody of that nature, he was giving you about 13, 14. He was almost getting what Pippen was giving Jordan, which is absurd.
Jordan was never asked to do what LeBron has been asked to do. The Jordan had a specific task.
And that's false. Jordan was asked to do what LeBron was asked to do. Before Phil Jackson got there and they couldn't figure out why they wasn't winning consistently enough, they said, Michael Jordan, you're the only person who can really handle this ball. We need you to run point forward, or point guard, whatever the case may be. And he did it. And he averaged 37-7 or 29-7-7. Crazy. They asked him to do that. Did it turn into a championship? No. Was it the best way to play? No. And it took Phil Jackson to show up and let Michael know that this is not sustainable if you want to win. You can't play that way. So yes, he was asked to play that way, which LeBron, where do you think LeBron got it from? Right? So he was asked to play that way, but that's not the best way to play. When Phil came in and changed things up and there was a more team-oriented offense, they was able to get more success out of what they was doing. Right? Jordan didn't like it at first because, man, it's a powerful drug to get all those stats. Who wants to give that up? Especially when you get to micromanage the whole offense and I get to dictate everything, pace, space. I get to dictate flow. I get to dictate who gets the ball. I get to dictate when I take my shots. The offense is revolving around me. That's a powerful drug to give up. Ask Luka, ask Caitlin Clark, ask LeBron, ask Harden, ask Westbrook, ask Jokic. It's a powerful drug for the offense to be designed for you to dictate everything and get all the assists and get all the points as well. That's a powerful drug. Mike rehabbed from it and went into something better, became, you know what I'm saying? But LeBron's never had to do that. So Shannon's lying when he said Mike's never been asked to do that. He's going to lie some more.
LeBron, they asked LeBron, said, LeBron, we need you to give us 27, we need you to give us 10, and we need you to give us 10.
The lie detector determined that was a lie. I've never seen LeBron average 27, 10, and 10. I've never seen him average a triple-double. That's a lie, right? They never asked him to do that. No one went and asked him and say, LeBron, you have to do that. What they did is once LeBron started playing that style, he didn't want to stop. And what they had to do is go find players that fit that style. LeBron didn't play that style because he was forced to, and they asked him to do it. LeBron played that style because he wanted to. And they was asking him, or they was asking the front office to find players to fit that style. And when I say fit, not just in your game, your mentality has to fit as well. Remember when he tweeted, when Kevin Love first came over there to Cleveland, he was like, man, I can't get with this. All I'm doing is catching and shooting 3. I can't get with this. I can't play basketball. And LeBron James tweeted and said, either fit in or fit out. That's what he mean. If you not going to get with this program, you got to get up out of here just like David Blatt did. I got David Blatt up out of here. Do you want to be next? Either fit in or fit out. He went publicly and said that, not the Kevin Love face. Either fit in or fit out. So you got to fit mentally. You got to be mentally prepared to not get the rock except for a catch and shoot 3 and let LeBron just dictate everything. You can't use none of you can only you might have 10 different skill sets on the offense. You can only use 2 of them: screen setting and shooting 3s. Oh, and offensive rebound. Never posting up. Never putting the ball on the floor. Never getting the opportunity to take a man one-on-one. Right? So LeBron hasn't been forced. Nobody's been forced to play this way. Not even Luka. Nobody's been forced this way. Every time Luka gets to a different team, he just got to the Lakers. He's trying to create what he had in Dallas and LA. Find me a center that can screen set and dive and be a lob threat. They got Jackson Hayes. Then they went out and got DeAndre Ayton. He tried to get two centers that can do both. Screen set and dive in Dallas for the longest. And he finally got it when they got Lively and Gafford. He was so happy that he had two guys to do that, because now if I got one and then one goes to the bench and y'all come off the bench with Maxi Kleber, I can't run that that high screen and roll like I want to. It makes it harder for Luka. So he always wants one guy on the floor with him that can screen set and dive and be a lob threat, because that makes the offense work for him. So what they're doing is designing an offense that's going to work for Luka to get his 26, 6, and 6. And then let's figure the rest out. Like this offense is just for Luka. We're running the offense only for Luka. All four guys on the floor, you're only there to help Luka get 26, 6, and 6. All right, so now we got that established. He's going 26, 6, and 6. We can pencil that in every game. Pencil it. If he's hitting his shots, so you can pencil 26, 6, and 6 every game. Right? Boom. All four guys on the floor, you only exist to help him get 26.6 rebounds, 6 assists. After that, now let's figure out how we go get the win. They're doing it backwards. They're running the offense just for one guy to get his numbers, and then Jason Kidd, you and your coaches that you got to figure out a way y'all can get a win out of this. Because he's giving you 26.6 rebounds and 6 assists. You're getting that every game. Now figure out the rest. And that's what Jokic, that's what Harden did in Houston. That's what Westbrook did in OKC. That's what LeBron has been doing off and on wherever he goes. So no one's forcing them to do that. They want to do that. They can play real basketball and play for pop and run a real offense. They can do that. But that's going to require them to upgrade their game to something more advanced than I'm just going to come down with the ball in my hand and get a high screen.
And we need you to do that every night. And in the meantime, we still need you to guard the best player.
All right,
that's a lie. He was not required to guard the best player. That's a bold lie.
LeBron has the greatest of all time influence on winning.
That don't make no sense.
Like, from day one, you put them on this team, they're a
better team than what if he's not on it.
Well, you can say that about Jordan, but just like his influence on winning is greater than Jordan.
Okay.
Because when you look at the teams he took to the finals, it's like, damn, you dragged them? You dragged them too?
That 2018 team ain't got no business in the finals.
But then you kind of erase that, because then you be like, damn, how did you lose when you had this?
All right, so Paul said something real key. And Shannon said something as well that we go point out, right? But Paul said, yeah, LeBron, once you put him on a team, he affects winning right away. But this is what people don't actually say when they say that. They don't actually say the part where when he actually go to these teams, it's just not him showing up. Right? When he left Cleveland to go, like anything after Cleveland, right? He showed up at Cleveland as a rookie. They was trying to get free agents and draft people that they could fit and build around LeBron. It wasn't working. They couldn't, they got to the finals once, but they couldn't get back. So he ran from the grind in year 7 to go to Miami. Now, what his fans will say is he showed up to Miami. They wasn't a playoff team, and they immediately got to the finals, but they would not add the fact that Bosh showed up with him. Wade was already there. So Wade there by himself with no help, they didn't get it. They didn't get to the playoffs. But now you bring Bosh and LeBron. That's a big difference. But the way they tell the story is that LeBron showed up and all of a sudden they got to the finals. Forget who else showed up with them. And I'm just talking about the big names. There was other people that showed up in free agency as well. They didn't just sign just the big two to add to Wade. It was more people that showed up. Right? Then he leaves the Heat. He goes back to Cleveland. Same situation. Wade was already in Miami when he showed up. And Kyrie was already in Cleveland when he showed up. Same thing. They weren't a playoff team. LeBron shows up. Who shows up with him? Kevin Love. So Kyrie by himself didn't make the playoffs. But when you add Kevin Love and LeBron, and then midway through the season go get J.R. Smith, yeah, that makes a big difference, right? So you're just going to act like it's just LeBron. So whenever LeBron does go to a team and he only shows up by himself, he doesn't impact winning right away, because when he left the Cavs for the second time, he went to the Lakers and he tried to get Anthony Davis to join, but the New Orleans Pelicans wouldn't trade him right away. So he had to sit out and force them to trade later on. But when LeBron showed up by himself, he didn't impact winning. The Lakers didn't win the they didn't make the playoffs. They didn't make the playoffs at all. Right? So he doesn't just automatically impact winning. Think about that. Right? But on the back end, Paul Pierce said, but if we're going to give him credit for showing up and impacting winning right away with little of nothing on the team, then we got to do the opposite thing when he has everything and don't win. Like, if you got everything and you lose, why are you losing when you got a super team? Right? So that's what Paul said. But you missed the part about what Shannon said when he was like, oh, that 2018 team may have no business making it to the finals. And even though they lost the finals, probably got swept. I think they got swept. Even though they lost, you're going to act like there's some type of big accomplishment. Oh, that 2018 team. And then he will lie. Let me see what he say.
Does the journey matter? How you win? Does that matter?
It does to me.
It matters, right?
It does.
Like, because if you're saying Kobe became something different because he stuck it out with the Lakers and won without Shaq, that matters. Yeah. That's elevated Kobe.
Well,
right?
See, if they could have got him pieces, do you think Kobe win if he doesn't get Powell? If they don't get medal?
Powell is not a top 75 player.
But I'm saying if they don't get him.
No, they don't.
LeBron couldn't get nobody to come to Cleveland. Bro, think about it. He got Timofey Mozgov, $75 million. He had Dellavedova. Dellavedova is your starting point guard
up there.
That's my point. That's what he was up against. Just imagine if Jerry West was his GM, he would have knew what pieces to put around LeBron.
I'm gonna stop there because first he said the 2018 Cavs had no business making it to the finals. Then he lied and said Dellavedova was his starting point guard, which was not true. George Hill was his starting point guard, a very good George Hill. He still had J.R. Smith. He still had Kevin Love. That was the first year that Kyrie left. They brought in Isaiah Thomas that year, Derrick Rose, D Wade, but they had to trade them mid-season. Not J.R. Smith, but Isaiah Thomas couldn't get on the floor because of his hip. D Rose was not a good fit, and Wade, I guess, wasn't a good fit either. He was done. But they made the trade. But he got George Hill. He had Rodney Hood. He had Kevin Love. Kevin Love still was a stud. And then when you look at the competition in the East, so for him to, first of all, let's stop lying and saying Dellavedova was his starting point guard. Dellavedova started in the finals when Kyrie went down with injury. Was that the year? Yeah, Kyrie Irving went down with an injury, and Dellavedova had to play heavy minutes. But you get through 82 games with Kyrie, Kevin Love, and LeBron and J.R. Smith. Those four players. You got four players that get you through 82 games and then the playoffs, and then you lose Kevin Love in the second round of conference finals. I can't remember. I'm going to say conference finals, you lost Kevin Love, and then you lost Kyrie game one of the finals. And y'all lost that one, and then y'all lost that series 4-1. So that means you played 4 games without Kyrie. So you played 4 games with Dellavedova. But the way LeBron James fans tell it is that Dellavedova was his starting point guard from day one of the 2018 season or 2017 season, whatever you want to say. That's a bold-faced lie, right? So 2018 season, the Cavs, I'm gonna just take the top 4 teams in the East. The Cavs was number 4. They won 50 games. That's the year that George Hill was the starting point guard, not Dellavedova. You got LeBron, who's supposed to be the best player in the league. So tell me, if you got the best player in the league in his prime, George Hill is your point guard. J.R. Smith is your shooting guard, and you still got Kevin Love. That's your core players. And what if I told you they was number 4 in the East that year? Number 3 was the Sixers, the very young Sixers, with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and their third best player was J.J. Redick. Do you think Joel Embiid young, Ben Simmons young, can't shoot, and J.J. Redick mid or less than mid as the best 3 players on the Sixers team, do you think they got a better shot at getting to the finals than the best player in the league, Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, and George Hill as the core? Right? That's the Sixers. They won 52 games that year. Second place was the Celtics. Jason Tatum was a rookie. He wasn't even sure he was going to start that year. That was the year that Kyrie and Gordon Hayward showed up to the Celtics. Gordon Hayward got hurt the first game of the season against the Cavs. Gordon Hayward is hurt. No Gordon Hayward. Kyrie Irving got this team jumping early. He gets season-ending surgery around the All-Star break. So you don't have Kyrie. So this team is led by a second-year player, Jaylen Brown, a rookie, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford. Those are your 3 best players. Do you think a rookie, Jason Tatum, a second-year player, Jaylen Brown, and Al Horford got a better chance than the best player in the world, LeBron James, Kevin Love, J.R. Smith, and George Hill? Right? And then the number 1 team in the league, in the East that year with 59 wins was the Raptors, led by DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry, and Serge Ibaka. Now, that team was kind of deep because they did have OG Anunoby, but he was a rookie, wasn't getting much playing time that year. But they also had Siakam, who was very young. He didn't emerge into the Siakam we know of now, but he was on their bench. They had Van Vliet on the bench. So that team it had depth. So I give it that. But the best player is DeMar DeRozan. How close to LeBron James do you think DeMar is? How close is Lowry to George Hill? How close is Serge Ibaka to Kevin Love? Right? So if you got the best player in the league and you're in the East and the best player on the best team is DeMar DeRozan, the best player on the second best team, I guess it was a rookie, Jason Tatum, if you want to say that. I say Jason Tatum as a rookie, and Joel Embiid was the best player on the third best team. Who got the best shot coming out of the East? None of those guys got playoff experience except for DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka. LeBron had that number, though. I mean, LeBron was better than everybody on that team. Right? So if LeBron is that good, why are we shocked when all these mid teams led by these young bucks not getting all the way to the finals? Like, this is, we've seen people come out of the East with mid teams before. Iverson, Allen Houston, Reggie Miller, Jason Kidd. We've seen them get out of the East with mid teams, and we're not saying none of those guys are as good as LeBron James. Nobody's saying J. Kidd, Iverson, Reggie Miller, or Allen Houston or is on the level. They're not top 10 players of all time. LeBron is a top 10 player of all time. So why are we giving him credit for just getting to the finals with K-Love, George Hill, J.R. Smith? That ain't nothing to be hyped about and be bragging about.
But that's what makes the journey matter. Like, when you go through the rough times, like me and Cole, like we talked about earlier, we were like, oh, we the journey's over, but he stuck it out.
Yeah.
And that meant something for him to stay a Laker and wait for them to see if they were going to do something.
Right.
He never ran.
LeBron waited.
What year was it?
Yeah, like year 7. He just realized
what year did Jordan win? 7 or 8?
Yeah. But here's the thing. They got him Scottie Pippen. They got him Ho Grant.
They got him a rookie Scottie Pippen and a rookie Horace Grant. Shannon Sharpe, quick question. What do you rank Horace Grant all time for power forwards? How good is Horace Grant? They got him competent players that play hard, that play defense, that rebound, who had some offensive ability, and they turned into much more than that. They tried to do it in Cleveland with LeBron. Let's see if we can get him those type of players. They went and got him Larry Hughes. He was averaging more than Scottie Pippen before he showed up there. Right, so there's your points. They went and got him drafted J.J. Hickson, who had all the ability that Horace Grant had, if not more. Same mid-range jump shot he was able to hit. Athleticism was great. Defender was there. I mean, J.J. Hickson is the reason why they didn't pull the trigger on the trade for Amari Stoudemire. They wanted J.J. Hickson in that trade, and I think they wanted to keep J.J. That's how impressive J.J. was when he first got there. Right? He had Boozer when he first got there. He had Ricky Davis. None of them dudes fit with him. Like the style of play that he's trying to play is very hard to find guys to fit that. You got to find guys who want to spread the floor and stand at the 3-point line or set screens and dive for lob layups. Like, that's a unique guy to find. Hey, I need to find a guy who can play lockdown defense, but also just stand in the corner and shoot threes. And he also got to be really good, because if he's just mid, then that means LeBron don't have enough help. So he's got to be very good, which means you got to be a very good player with a beta mentality, because what player with a lot of talent wants to stand in the corner and just watch LeBron dribble the air out of the ball all day long? That's very hard to do. So you're looking for a freaking dominant in the rough. I need a player that's really good, that can play real good defense, can score at will and shoot threes, but also willing to defer and just stand in the corner. That's a unique player you're looking for. So he talking about they got him Scottie Pippen and whole Grant. Now, what does that mean? They was getting LeBron help.
Scottie became something. They don't know Scottie. They didn't go get Scottie Pippen. They drafted well.
But what I'm saying, they weren't drafting well, though. Truth.
But they were trying to do everything to get him. They got Ben Wallace, Shaq, Antoine. They was trying.
But Ben Wallace was my age.
Yeah, I mean,
Shaq was my age.
But you think about this: the great players, people always gravitate toward you.
He said Ben Wallace was his age. As a matter of fact, when Ben Wallace and Dennis Rodman are practically the same player. Not 100% the same player, but both very good defensively. A+ defenders. Both very good rebounders. A+ rebounders. Not a lot of offense. Right? But remember, the style of play that LeBron plays, he needs guys like Kevin Love or Chris Bosh to be as good defensively as a Ben Wallace, and as a great rebounder as Ben Wallace, but also be able to shoot the three like a guard. So he can't use a Rodman or a Ben Wallace. So it's not that Ben Wallace was old. It was that he went to the wrong squad. It wasn't that Shaq was old. He just went to the wrong squad. You can't be in the paint when you on a LeBron running LeBron's offense. So he's saying Ben Wallace was old and past his prime. Ben Wallace was probably the same age, if not younger, than Dennis Rodman when Dennis Rodman went to the Bulls. And I just thought about this, so I'll pull it up really quick. And this is just me guessing. Dennis Rodman. Let's see if I can pull up his basketball reference. I want to see how old Dennis Rodman was when he got to the Bulls. Right? So Dennis Rodman, when he got to the Bulls, was 34 years old. Right? So 34, 35, 36 was how old he was when he three-peated with the Bulls. 34, 35, 36. Right? Not a spring chicken, not super young. 34, 35, 36. Right? Now, let's see how old Ben Wallace was when he joined the Cavs. And I could be wrong, y'all. I don't know. 34. Let's see how old Ben Wallace was when he joined the Cavs. He was 33. I was right. A year younger than Rodman. Ben Wallace was 33 years old, a year younger than Rodman when he joined the Cavs. You see what I'm saying? So he was old. We can't count the Cavs giving him help with Ben Wallace, but we can count the Bulls giving him help with Dennis Rodman. Well, Dennis Rodman was older than Wallace, and they both are pretty much the same player. They both going Hall of Fame if they ain't already there. Both rebounding monster, both defenders. It's just LeBron can't use a player like that. LeBron can't even use Scottie Pippen. If Scottie Pippen was on LeBron's team, he would be traded for Kevin Love. It's the reason why he traded Wiggins. What I'm gonna do with Wiggins? I just had that with Wade. I ain't really liked it that much. Like, I need somebody that can shoot. Kevin Love. I need a big man that can shoot. To run that pick and pop with me. Or a big man that can shoot to pull the big man out of the paint. He knew what he needed. He knew what worked in Miami. What worked with Miami was Chris Bosh was a big, and when he played the 5 or the 4, he's pulling somebody out of the paint. Whether it's Duncan, whether it's Amari, whoever's trying to guard Bosh at the time, they're getting pulled out of the paint, right? So he knew that worked in Miami. So he knew, man, who else can do this? He said before he decided to go back to Cleveland that he wanted to play with Kevin Love. So when he made the decision to go back to Cleveland, they had already drafted Wiggins. They got Kyrie Irving. You already found you a superstar in Kyrie Irving. You know what I'm saying? You was going to add Wiggins to that with the number 1 pick. That would have been a good duo, but LeBron showed up and was like, dang, it could be me, a young Kyrie, and a young rookie Andrew Wiggins, but then I would have to wait for that to jail. I need a vet, and I need a big man that can shoot like Bosh did. Immediately, I need Kevin Love. They traded Wiggins for Kevin Love. He always have to have a big man that can shoot to pull people out of the paint because he has to get downhill in the paint to do what it is he do. Because he's very limited offensively. Stop producing all these facts. The fanboys can't take it. You're right. I know they can't.
Great players.
Yeah.
The good role players gravitate.
Yeah, but they ain't going to Cleveland to gravitate towards them.
Why not? People
because I ain't trying to go to Cleveland.
Like Milwaukee won.
Yeah.
Denver won. Who want to go there? But whose journey was better, Jordan or LeBron's?
You think it's harder to win as many championships as Jordan did with one team, or win the championship that he's won like LeBron on multiple teams?
I think it's harder to win on one team. This is why Shannon Sharpe. When you're on one team, and I use Michael Jordan as an example. You're on one team, you get a co-star, and as you age, your co-star ages. Both of y'all are getting older. Both of y'all are hitting y'all prime and then declining from your prime, right? We've seen it all happen. The Boston Celtics, Bird, Kevin McHale, Parrish, they all got old. Bird back went out and all of those things. It would have been nice for Bird to say, you know what? I can't do it the way I used to, but I guarantee you if I trade Parrish and McHale, I can get another younger superstar in here to help me and help carry me. He didn't do that. They all went down with the ship together. They all retired and dispersed or went, and ran off into the sunset with some other team. That's how you go down with the ship. Detroit Pistons, Rodman, Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer, Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Microwave, Vinnie Johnson, all these guys, Mark Aguirre, they all did what they could do and got old together and went down. Nobody was jumping ships trying to figure out, man, what team can I jump on is on the way to the championship because I want to keep winning. My time is up. We go down with the ship, we retire, we ride off into the sunset. That's the respectable way to do it, right? That's the respectable way to do it. And that's harder because you're trying to continue to win after you're past your prime. That's a very hard thing to do, right? And it's hard to manufacture that thirst to want to keep doing it and keep making deep playoff runs with the same people like everybody's wore out. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's wore out. That's tough. Now, what's easier is saying, all right, instead of me staying with one team for 10 years with one co-star, one coach, and all that stuff, and see how many we can win, and then we all go out together. Like Phil retired, Mike retired at the same time. Pippen left the Bulls. Like it was the last dance. They all ran off into the sunset together and left at where they was winning at. They left the mountaintop together, right? But to say, yeah, every 4 years I'm just go team hop, and that way when I get to see Wade getting older, I'm saying D Wade before the games or after the games drain his knee just so he can walk. All that fluid building up in his knee. I know he ain't got nothing left in him. Why would I want to go down with the ship with him? Why would I want to stay with the Heat when I can see the writing on the wall? He's a max player, but he's not. He's a max player in contract, but he's not a max player on the court no more because of his injuries. So we're not going to be able to afford help for us to get back to the championships. This is the perfect time for me to jump ship, not go down with the ship, jump ship, right? The way sailors work, the way Navy work, the way pirates work, the way it's supposed to be, the captain always goes down with the ship. What sense does it make? You got all these people, life in your hands, and when the ship spring a flood and the ship is sinking, you're the captain and you fly off in the helicopter and tell everybody else that they get to die and go down with the ship. But the captain, you're the reason why we're flooding, because if we're flooding, that means the captain did something wrong. So it was honorary for a captain to say, I'm not leaving until everybody is safely off this boat. Get all the life rafts and everything. Captain got to be the last one to leave or go down with the ship. You can't be the first one to leave. So when the ship was going down for LeBron in Cleveland, he left and went to Miami. When the ship was going down in Miami, he left and went back to Cleveland. And what he doing is, instead of his co-star like Scottie Pippen getting older, hitting his prime, and then declining after his prime, every time his co-star like Wade gets older and start declining, he gets to leave and get a younger co-star in Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. And then when Kyrie Irving don't want to play with him no more and leaves, and then Kevin Love is declining, he gets to leave and go to LA and get another young co-star in AD. And then when AD look like he's declining, he gets Luka, a younger co-star. So team hopping and having your co-star age like Benjamin Button is easier than staying with one team with one co-star and going down with the ship.
It's hard to win, period.
Yeah, oh, for sure. We
said that.
We've agreed to that. Yeah, we're going to agree with that.
But now, if I go say, all right, I want to go over here, but then I get the hand pick, what part of the journey is that? That has to mean something. That has to mean, like, Jordan didn't say pick Pippen. Did he?
Right.
They got him on a hinge that's saying, hey, maybe he becomes something.
Right.
You know, like, the journey has to like mean something. And, you know, it doesn't take away from LeBron's ability.
Right.
Like, he's like just take away everybody's championships.
Right.
LeBron has the greatest ability of any basketball player ever,
No,
like,
he
skill
don't.
wise.
Right.
No, he don't.
Like, I mean, dude, he's the scoring champ. He can pass like Magic. He can rebound like Rodman. I mean,
He indeed cannot rebound like Rodman. Rodman was averaging 13, 14, 15 rebounds a game as a 6'8" power forward. LeBron is a 6'8" power forward as well, and he's averaging 7 rebounds a game. So Rodman was averaging double what LeBron averaged. Larry Bird averaged more rebounds than LeBron. We've got to stop being this lazy with the things we say and the words we use, because we're trying not to offend a peer. Just be honest. He cannot rebound like Rodman. Stop it.
Yeah, he can do it all.
He can do it all. Like, if I'm building a basketball player, I want to build LeBron. Like, athleticism.
Yeah, no players been able to do more.
But the mental fortitude is what we always questioned about him.
Well, just let me ask you a question.
The mental fortitude is what we always question about him. Shout out to Long Strokes with the $5 super chat. Damn, man, you got my smoke alarm ringing off with all this heavy game you cooking tonight. No doubt, man. That's the last time I'm gonna say your name tonight, too. He said, but that mental fortitude, we always question. That's the part he don't got. That might, I mean, you could say LeBron got all this stuff. He can pass, he can rebound, he can do all this. He got all the stats and all that stuff, but the winning is affected by his mental fortitude, his heart, his drive, his killer instinct, or lack thereof. But here come the question that I really wanted to get into that Shannon Sharpe thought he was cooking with.
Let's just say, for the sake of argument, LeBron James would have had a historically great coach. Say he had a Dean Smith in college for 3 years, and then he get a Phil Jackson for the better part of his career. What coach that you believe that LeBron James is going to have that's going to go to the Hall of Fame? Maybe Spoelstra?
Spoelstra will go to the Hall of Fame. Ty Lue will go to the Hall of Fame. Let's see who he with right now.
JJ Redick.
JJ Redick.
Mike Brown. Vogel.
But who made who? Who made who? Did Phil make Jordan?
All I know is Phil left somewhere else and went and won a championship.
But did Phil make Jordan?
I'm just asking you a question. Did he leave? Tell me the coach. Tell me the coach. Tell me the coach that's won a championship after they left LeBron.
Probably nobody.
Why that?
Because LeBron elevated the coach, right?
Yeah.
So did Jordan.
Phil won 5 championships after he left Jordan.
I mean, come on. You inherited Kobe and Shaq.
I just said what he did.
So he thought he really cooked with that Hall of Fame coach thing, right? You're not making the case that LeBron is a better player than Mike. What you're saying is Mike is a better player because he was coached. So if you think you cooking, but it's actually an indictment on LeBron when you say, oh, LeBron ain't never had no Hall of Fame coach. Well, that's the reason why his game isn't refined. But as you can see, he thought he challenged Paul Pierce and said, who LeBron uncoached, who coached LeBron is going to the Hall of Fame? He said, Ty Lue. Definitely. That's one coach. The coach that coached Michael Jordan is going to the Hall of Fame is Phil. That's one. So LeBron has had one Hall of Fame coach. Well, before he said Ty Lue, he said Eric Spoelstra. That's one coach. So Eric Spoelstra, Hall of Fame, multiple championships, multiple winning season, multiple finals appearances, even without LeBron. Gold medals. He'll be coaching the next Olympic as the head coach this time. He got a resume, and so does Ty Lue. He's on his way as well. So that's actually 2. David Blatt is actually one of the most winningest coaches overseas, and the Basketball Hall of Fame is just not NBA. David Blatt will be a Hall of Famer. That's 3 coaches. And then the maybes, we got to see what Mike Brown is able to do. And Jason Kidd as an assistant, even when Frank Vogel won in the bubble with the Lakers and LeBron, we know Jason Kidd was actually the catalyst behind that for real. That's why when they gave Vogel the job, they was like, yeah, we go give you the job, but you got to hire Jason Kidd, because they really wanted Jason Kidd. For whatever reason, they couldn't just give Jason Kidd the job. I don't know why. Right. So they gave it to Vogel and said, yeah, but maybe Magic wanted J Kidd, but Pelinka wanted Vogel, and they split the baby and was like, yeah, get both of them. But when it came to the defensive schemes and everything, it was Rondo and J Kidd that was mostly instrumental in that offense and defense, right? Rondo and J Kidd, Rondo as a player and J Kidd as an assistant coach, was more instrumental in the schemes they did on both sides of the floor in LA, other than Frank Vogel. Hold on. Which was evident when Jason Kidd left to take the job in Dallas, and Frank Vogel couldn't sustain winning on that team, and he got fired. Ain't that something? You lose Rondo and J Kidd, and all of a sudden you look like a totally different coach, right? That's the Frank Vogel we're talking about. So J Kidd will be he's a Hall of Fame player. He will be a Hall of Fame coach as well. So will Mike Brown. So will David Blatt. So will Ty Lue. So will Eric Spoelstra. And then Pat Riley was instrumental in that heat as well as an advisor. So let's not pretend like LeBron hasn't had the coaching. He's had more great coaches than Mike has, right? But when you talk about Dean Smith and Mike being coached in North Carolina, yeah, that makes him a better player because he allowed himself to be coached and refined and become a better player. LeBron has been enabled. All right, big difference.